Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to bask in unprecedented glory, because today I'm going to shed light on the top 3 reasons why employers won't let their employees work overtime. So why do employers desist and abstain and refrain from allowing their employees to work overtime? Let me just demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Their workforce may be unionized, and if they grant someone without seniority the ability to work overtime over someone with seniority, the individual with seniority may file grievance against the corporation. What will ensue, you may ask? Well, the individual with seniority may seek relief in court, and the company may be liable for an impending lawsuit. So, to preclude that calamitous situation from unfolding, to prevent those grievances from being brought to fruition, they'll eschew granting their employees overtime. That's one reason. What are the other 2 reasons, you may ask? What are the other top reasons? Well, an employer may prefer to have a part-time or adjunct workforce. That way they can circumvent paying their employees fringe benefits. So it may also be more cost-effective to have a part-time workforce. In other words, instead of having 3 full-time employees, they may have 6 part-time employees. And if they work under a number certain, if they work less than a certain number of hours per week, if they don't meet that artificial threshold to qualify for fringe benefits, then the employer will not have to pay them fringe benefits. Furthermore, their employees may be able to work more efficaciously and more productively if they're working less hours, because their employees can allocate more time into attained REM sleep, into taking more fruits and vegetables to nutrify their body and to imbue their vessel with energy. And their employees may be better prepared to commence work when their shift starts. So not only can a part-time workforce be more productive because the onerous burden of incessantly working is truncated when you're working part-time as opposed to full-time, but it's likely more cost-effective if they can elicit the maximum productivity of their employees that decreases if they were to have their employees work full-time or overtime. So in other words, it would behoove the employer to have a part-time workforce as opposed to a full-time workforce in which they're not capitalizing on the maximum productivity of their employees, because their employees become less productive as they become more fatigued and more frazzled and more debilitated over the course of time during their shift. So, what's the 3rd and final reason? Well, employers are likely going to have to at least pay their employees time and a half per additional hour they work beyond the full-time 40-hour threshold, and that deters and disincentivizes employers from offering their employees overtime. In other words, it's less lucrative, less profitable to pay employees for overtime than it is to substitute one employee for another, to circumvent paying them time and a half or even fringe benefits if their part-time employees work less than 30 hours or 32 hours per week. I'm not sure of the artificial threshold that an employee needs to work to qualify for fringe benefits, but it may be anywhere from 30 to 40 hours per week. So just to recapitulate, to review if you skipped to the end of the video and you circumvented watching the video in its totality. The top 3 reasons encompass the following. If the company's labor force is unionized, then the employees with seniority may be eligible to file a grievance against the company if the company is giving newer workers overtime over senior workers or their veteran staff or their older workers. So they want to circumvent those impending lawsuits from befalling upon them. Again, the second reason is that they want to preempt being liable to pay their employees fringe benefits, and because of the system, because of the jurisprudence system, because of the systems in place, they're truly disincentivized from even giving their employees full time if it culminates in them being forced to pay fringe benefits to their employees. So they're not going to give them full time, they're unequivocally not going to give them overtime. They don't want to meet the threshold to pay their employees fringe benefits. And because of that, they're reluctant to give their employees full-time or even work beyond the parameters of the 40-hour work week. And then the third and final reason, which is unequivocally the most impactful reason and the most indelible reason, is that they have to pay their employees time and a half per additional hour they give them beyond the 40-hour threshold. So those are the reasons why employees are deterred from that's the reason why employers are deterred from giving their employees overtime hours or overtime work or anything beyond the 40-hour threshold. So I hope that you found this video to be insightful and enthralling. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.